Alright guys, so today we have an interesting bit of news. Now I'm just going to preface all of this, get it out of the way that this is coming from not the most reliable news source. It is one of these Geek News Today websites. The website is actually called Nexus Point News. So it's an interesting point of discussion, but don't take it as gospel. You know, it ain't the Bible. Fucking Mark didn't write this shit. All right, let's just get into it. Nexus Point News exclusive. Mark Ruffalo is set to return as Bruce Banner in Spider-Man Brand New Day. So it says, Nexus Point News can exclusively report that Mark Ruffalo is set to reprise his role as Bruce Banner in Spider-Man Brand New Day. It is currently unknown what role Banner will play in the story, or whether he'll also be portraying his alternate green persona. Nexus Point News can confirm Bruce Banner's appearance will be much larger than a cameo, and Ruffalo will have a substantial role in the film. Spider-Man Brand New Day will be Ruffalo's 10th appearance in a mainline MCU project, yada yada. Ruffalo's Banner, okay, so I think it's just background information. So, here's the thing. I don't love this news right off the bat. I feel conflicted. But I also recognize that I am a hypocrite. I am. Because I'm so sick of Spider-Man having babysitters, It's like he's babysat by Tony Stark in Iron Man 1, then he's babysat by Nick Fury in Spider-Man 2. Did I say Iron Man 1? I meant Spider-Man Homecoming. He's then babysat by Doctor Strange / Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man in No Way Home, and I was really excited after the end of Spider-Man No Way Home. They reveal that nobody knows who he is. He's ready to, he has the shitty, homemade suit. When I mean shitty, I don't mean in visuals, but I hope you know what I mean. And we're finally going to get a Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland where it's just him, he's broke, and it's going to be a more grounded, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And now we get this. now we're going to have stupid Smart Hulk probably being a mentor or whatever. Now, I said that I was a hypocrite. Why am I a hypocrite? Because I was also excited about the notion of Daredevil being in the movie, who would have also probably been a mentor figure of some sort. But you know what? I would argue the difference between Daredevil potentially being a mentor figure is that he is also a street level. He would have been a street level mentor figure, which could have been cool. Maybe their ideology could have been different in some way, and it could have led to conflict. Although, would Daredevil's ideology even be much different than Spider-Man? I don't actually think so now that I think about it. Either way, so I am a hypocrite in that sense, but I'm also just a Daredevil bitch. You know what I mean? I had problems with Daredevil Born Again, but it's also Daredevil's kind of like pizza, I'll enjoy a mediocre season of Daredevil. I'll just enjoy it, and I won't care that much at the end of the day. I'll also be okay with being a hypocrite and being okay with Daredevil being in a Spider-Man movie, whereas I wouldn't be okay with it with other characters being in a Spider-Man movie. So I just acknowledge that. But it's just either way, it just makes me a little worried about Spider-Man Brand New Day. I was really excited about the notion of what it could be, it being significantly different from previous Spider-Man movies in the MCU. And Mark Ruffalo being in it just makes me think that that's not going to, that it those elements of it are still going to be there. Now, look, at the end of the day, we haven't seen a trailer. We haven't, we don't even know really what the movie's about. So this could all be for nothing, right? I will also just point this out. Other characters can be in a Spider-Man movie without it feeling like they're mentoring Spider-Man. Other characters can be in a Spider-Man movie, but Spider-Man is still an independent figure. We still see everything that we want to see from this movie. So I do just want to point that out. This is just more of a fear. Now, another thing that needs to be added into this is that Nexus Point News could have very much heard this from whatever sources that they have. But something that also needs to be acknowledged is that, actually, they mentioned this in the article. I'll just bring it up again. Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars just got delayed. I thought I saw this in here. Yeah, so it says Spider-Man Brand New Day will be Ruffalo's 10th appearance in a mainline Marvel Cinematic Universe project, which will be followed shortly by Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. It used to be the case that Spider-Man Brand New Day was going to come after Doomsday, but before Secret Wars. So presumably there would have been more multiverse elements tied into it. But is that going to be the case now? Are they going to have to change this movie? Or is it still going to have multiverse elements, but it wasn't necessarily going to be intrinsically tied into Doomsday? And what I mean by that was maybe you weren't ever going to have have Doomsday in order to understand Spider-Man 4. It's all very confusing. I'll be honest, this is what I hope. I really hope that it was always going to be the case that Spider-Man Brand New Day was going to take place before Avengers Doomsday, even if it was going to come afterwards, so that it wouldn't be another multiverse Spider-Man movie, because goddamn, I am sick of the multiverse. And so hopefully, this doesn't change too much about Spider-Man Brand New Day, the Avengers delays. But who knows? Either way, it's an interesting point of conversation. What do you think? Are you sick of the multiverse? Do you just want to see a Spider-Man movie where Spider-Man is just being Spider-Man and he isn't dragged into a multiverse situation and he's not being mentored and he's not having to deal with whatever gobbledygook, the MCU gobbledygook, and he's just is Spider-Man? Is that what you want to see as well? Or maybe you want him to be mentored. Maybe you want him to be a little baby forever and ever. Maybe you want some fucking another Tobey Maguire to come through a portal and then everybody in the theater claps. Oh my god, it's the guy from the movie that I saw in the past and he's here now. Yes, this is what media is. In 2025. I don't know, maybe that's you. Let me know in the comments down below. Also subscribe, like the video, whatever.